What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how you can break into consulting if you're coming straight from college. Now, I took a different route. I went into consulting 2 years after I graduated from college, so that means I went and worked for a different company and I switched over to consulting. So I took a different route, but I'm going to be explaining how you can do it straight from college. And I've been talking to a lot of new joiners that are just joining Big Four Consulting, and yeah, they gave me some of these ideas that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, the first thing is going to be networking. So this is the most important thing you can really do when it comes to trying to join consulting, whether you're coming from a college campus or you are already working for a different company and you're trying to switch over to consulting, simply because all the big four firms, they are global companies and they rely on recruiters, right? So recruiters are responsible for finding the people, setting up the interviews, and kind of like helping you pick exactly what you want to do. I'll give you a good example. When I was switching over to Big Four Consulting, I work in risk management, and I was trying to go into, I think it was, I forget what it was, but then recruiter walked me through the different positions and which would be a good fit for me based on my resume. So they help you a lot. They do a lot of work when it comes to recruiters. Even when you get hired, they're still going to be connected to you. They help you if you have any questions. They are part of, whatever firm that you're going to be going to. So networking with those people, they have a lot of power. They're just not, their job is to not just, is not just to find the people and then just leave them alone. They have a lot of power. So if it's a career day at college on your college campus and there's a bunch of recruiters from one of the big four firms, talk to them. Those are the people that you want to be connected with. I'll give you one more person, which is going to be an employee, right? If you know someone that works at a big four firm, or maybe a friend that was older than you and they graduated before you, they went to a big four consulting firm. People that work at consulting firms, they can refer you, right? If you get an employee referral, your resume is going to be looked at a lot quicker, right? You kind of like have an advantage over someone who applies externally. So it's always important to network with people that already work at those big four firms. And sometimes, if I work at a big four firm, you're gonna get paid for referring good talent to the big four firm. So you want to network with these two people. One is gonna be the recruiter. Number two is gonna be someone who already works for the firm that you're trying to go into. Now the next one is gonna be keeping your grades pretty high. Now this is only for people that are trying to get into consulting right after college. It is very competitive, right? A lot of people want to work for the big four firms. They receive hundreds of thousands of applications a month. It is a lot of competition. So most firms use grades as kind of like a measurement to disqualify people, right? So if you have a 2.4 GPA, the system might throw your resume away and pick someone who has a 4.0. That's just a way of filtering through the thousands of resumes that they have to look at. So I don't really know what the process is when it comes to, how they filter out the resumes, but it's always safe to keep your grades high. I've always been a person that says, grades don't really matter as long as you pass. But if you're going to something that's really, really competitive, you know that there's a lot of competition going into it, you might as well put yourself in the best position, which is keeping your grades pretty high. Now, the next one is going to be knowing exactly what you want to do. So when you talk about the big four consulting firms, these are global companies that have so many positions, right? So jobs might sound similar, they might sound a little different, something you've never heard before. So you always want to make sure that you fully understand what you're trying to get into. And this is where recruiters come into play. Now, I'm going to give you free game here. If you want to network with a recruiter, you can go on LinkedIn. You can find them on LinkedIn, right? You can filter out the results and find people that are recruiters at the firm that you're trying to get into. Now, if you're trying to start communication with them, it's always good to start off, ask like an honest question. You can ask about the position that you saw that was open. You can ask about some advice. You can ask about, you got to do it nicely. I think I made a video on how you can approach someone's DMs on LinkedIn, someone who's a recruiter or someone who works at a company. I'll probably do an updated video on that, but I have a video on how you can do that. So that is a good way to get into that, and you can have people that work there, a recruiter, explain what these different positions are, because it's important for you to know exactly what you want to do, because you don't want to apply to the wrong thing and then hate it. Now the next one is going to be your involvement in college. So one of my biggest recommendations is going to be taking up a lot of leadership positions. This is going to be an organization. Maybe it's a business fraternity. Maybe it's an investment society. Maybe it's a business club, right? Or anything. Keep it related to business, right? If you know you're going to go into consulting, that's a lot of business. Just join organizations that are related to, that contribute to what you are going to do in the future, and join the leadership positions, right? And this is because when you go into consulting, this is more of a self-starter position, right? Consulting, nobody's gonna hold your hand, right? A lot of people complain that as soon as you join, you get the training and it's like boom, do the work, right? It's really like that. You have to be a self-starter. Nobody's gonna come check on you like, hey, oh baby, you, right? Because everyone has projects that they're working on. Everyone has quotas to meet. Everyone has a lot of things that they're doing. So you have to kind of like be a self-starter. So that's why I say having a leadership position in college prepares you for, the communication skills, right? The networking skills. It allows you to be ready to do those things. Those are things that you are going to need when you get into consulting. If you're someone who is shy, someone who doesn't really like reaching out to people, maybe you kind of like, you don't really like, networking with people, you're going to find yourself at the end of the line instead of the front of the line, because when you network with people, you are going to be staffed on important projects, right? You're going to have a lot more opportunities. So if you join organizations in college that force you to be in positions where you have to know how to communicate with people, how to network with people, that is good practice for getting into consulting. Now the last one is going to be doing internships in the summer, right? So a lot of these, all the big four have really extensive summer internship programs that are fully detailed, that have been around for a while. So it's gonna prepare you. A lot of people that do those programs, they actually end up getting hired by the big four because they've already invested, obviously some money. Interns get paid a lot when you go to the big four. They've invested knowledge in you, so it makes sense to hire you. So most people that intern at one of the big four firms, they usually end up working there, right? If they like it, and they're not gonna have to wait in a line of all these external applications, because they are already in the system. When you put in an application, it asks you, have you been employed by this firm? Have you done this? So that is kind of like how they filter out the new people and the people that have already interned here. So your application kind of like goes on the top. Now, most of these internships are going to be for juniors and seniors, right? So what can you do if you're a freshman or maybe a sophomore and there's no internship for someone who is at that level of, college education? So they also do have conferences that you can attend in the summer. Those are good things that you can add on your resume, right? If you want to go to PwC, you can go to maybe they have a conference about this, you can attend that and you put that on your resume, right? So when a recruiter sees it, they see that, oh, you've actually attended the PwC conference. You're going to be more attractive than someone who has never attended anything that's PwC related, right? Now, there's also mentorship programs. A lot of these consulting firms, they have mentorship programs, and these are all to invest in future employees. So if you just put yourself in these positions, this kind of like, getting your foot in the door. And then when the time comes for you to actually apply, you are going to be, half your foot is already going to be in the door. So it's a lot easier than someone who has not even opened the door. So those were the 5 different ways that anyone can break into consulting coming from college. This was not fully detailed, on what should be on your resume. If you guys want to see something like that, go ahead and like the video and let me know in the comment section below if you want a detailed video where I break down, what should your resume look like? How should you do the cases? What should you do during the internship? How do you even approach a recruiter on LinkedIn, right? And how do you get noticed by recruiters? But that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to go and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.